What are some of the examples of this that occurred certainly during my career? The dot-com era claimed that eyeballs and rapid growth would inevitably become profit, but when funding dried up, companies without real unit economics collapsed. And we saw this, back in the late 90s with the collapse of the dot-com bubble. And then anybody was behind it. If you looked at the time, there was almost a religious fervor in chasing that technology, and people were pumping up many of the stocks that had no way of coming up with any kind of profit at any time in the near future because of the retail desire. In other words, you had people who normally weren't investing in the stock market that were in the stock market investing in these technologies that just had no economic benefit, and they were never going to make it. And they ended up collapsing, and people lost a lot of money. And then, of course, enterprise blockchain was hyped as a universal solution for trust, supply chains, and identity. But most projects died in pilots because complexity, governance issues, and simpler alternatives that were out there. So I followed this very closely. And there was obviously temptation for me to chase the blockchain train. And many of my friends and other people who are influencers in the space chase this as kind of a real change or a revolution in terms of how we're going to deal with supply chain integration, medical records, things like that. Aspects of blockchain turned out to be great ideas and were certainly a tactical advantage in us setting up these various mechanisms, but it turned out to be not the second coming of technology. It provides a very tactical function that really doesn't make that much of a big deal in our lives right now.